Oh, why don't you just take it forever? What are you doing? Forget about just a week or two. Come on, we can do better than that. Come on. We know what's happening, right? If we wanted a weakling president, times that is an interesting clip. I think that was kind of funny. Where he's advising his clients, his Hollywood elite, and people in the government that they should plan on taking a little vacation around inauguration time. It's going to go well beyond inauguration time. We got a lot of cleanup to do. We got a big swamp to drain here, so it's going to be a little bit longer than just a few weeks or a few days. It'll be interesting to see how many of these Hollywood elite do actually leave. Right? Because they said they're going to leave if Trump got reelected. He got reelected. Where are you going? Are they going to get him out of there? It's going to be an interesting situation to keep an eye on. I've been watching the news today. I've been spending probably more time than I should on the news, and there's just the story's going in every different direction. It's really fascinating. So we're going to do kind of a news roundup, if you will, today, and give you sort of a touch on multiple of different stories. And Lewis is going to join us. I believe he is actually having a little bite of lunch. He just got off the airplane, hungry, because you don't eat airplane food. And so he's grabbing something to eat. And then he's going to join us from the car, from a Uber, I think he's going to be in. So he's going to join us in, let's see here, 3 or 4, he said 12 minutes. So we'll see if he manages to keep that timeline. But he's going to be on for a little while today. And then tomorrow, the big promise is that the information that he gathered in Tennessee, he's going to compile it all together and put together a show for us tomorrow. So we're going to focus there rather than just the news, unless, there's some big stuff happening. Well, today, maybe you got the wind that there's something big happening. We started to talk about it a little bit yesterday. I had a cousin from Montreal who reached out and said, "What in the heck are you Americans thinking? Giving Ukraine, the permission to launch long-range missiles into Russia." Exactly, right? That's exactly what the plan is, to destroy everything and make it very difficult for Donald Trump to take over. They want him to take over in chaos. Look, that's clear. Right? They want it to be as chaotic as possible for him, so he can't get a foothold and get going and get things done that he needs to get done, and draining the swamp, because draining the swamp means all of them get flushed, right? All of them get brought to justice, and it's going to be a long process. We're going to see people being taken down. We're going to see people disappear. From what we understand, Barry and his husband there, Big Mike, have flown to Dubai. They're not even in the United States anymore, because Dubai doesn't have an extradition agreement with the United States, so they would actually be safe from prosecution there. So if that's true, we don't know. Well, we haven't seen them recently, but apparently right after the election, they got on a plane and took off, and they haven't come back. So, they're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of people heading for the exits of it, kind of falling apart, because a lot of people are recognizing now, hey, the game is different. One thing that you could look at is you could look at the border. All of a sudden, Border Patrol is starting to do the job they were meant to do, and they're starting to turn back the migrants. And actually, Mexico is even stopping them from coming up. So, that whole situation is starting to turn a corner on us is really good. And people are self-deporting because they see the writing on the wall. They go, well, it's not going to continue. They're going to put us in jail. They're going to hunt us down. They're going to put us in jail. They're going to send us away. Yeah, that's going to happen. No question. And it's just a matter of when. So some don't want to do that. Some will just take whatever money they've gotten so far and get out of here. And we see that happening. Some towns are reporting that there's fewer and fewer migrants. Our town, there's a report this morning. So, not all towns, obviously, is California. It's very different. They're not going to deport anyone. And Newsom has already said he's going to stand fast against deportation. And he's going to, protect the illegals. That's his role now. He's not here for the people of California, the residents. He's here to protect the illegals. Go figure. We got to get rid of these people, guys. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of evil still in the system that needs to be taken care of. And I believe it will. I think we're certainly moving in the right direction. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the picks that Donald Trump has been making to his cabinet. It grows every day. It's sort of fun to watch. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or not, but it's interesting. It certainly is interesting. It certainly feels like there's going to be a 1-2 punch coming up, and it's going to be quick. There is still a lot of talk about reinstating Donald Trump to the presidency before January 20th. That story does not go away. And one thing we're hearing now is that there's impeachment documents being drawn up. Okay. Probably not what we want to see, right? So it's just one of these things we have to pay very close attention to. Trump reached out to both Putin and Zelensky yesterday and said, "Call me. Let's settle this now. Let's not let it escalate." So we'll see. Whatever ends up happening there, it's kind of interesting to see the game that's being played. 5D chess. Gee, I hope so. I hope we're moving in that direction, and we've got a lot to do. So pay attention, my friends. Pay attention. It's going to get better before it gets worse. All right. Just real quick, a reminder, go over to screwbiggov.com. Get on the email list. There's a lot of cool stuff coming in the future, but also stuff that we've done already in the past is there, and educational documentaries and the swag. The swag's always fun, and the newsletter's there if you miss it, if you don't get it via email, but do sign up for the newsletter so you can keep in touch, and also follow me here on renegademedia.tv or at Renegade Media on Telegram. We spend a lot of time putting content up there on a regular basis, so just follow us there and keep in touch with us on the socials, because boy, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with it sometimes. I just look at it and I go, okay, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? But it's the world we're in. I believe strongly that it's our role right now to pay attention to it all, because it's so many people, and you can tell. Look at the numbers that we're seeing drop off, not watching the shows. We see people dropping off on Telegram. We see people unsubscribing from the newsletter. It's almost as if they feel like, okay, we hit the goal. The goal was to get Trump back in. He got reelected. We don't need to pay attention anymore. Well, that's not necessarily true. Right? We have a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of cleanup to do. There's counting still going. Let's get him reinstated. Let's get this show on the road. And there's a lot that points in that direction, right? If you look at, we talked about yesterday, how quickly he's putting this cabinet together. I mean, it's like every hour there's another announcement. There's another cabinet. There's another one. There's no one. And the FBI one still hasn't been confirmed, by the way. We thought it was yesterday. Some of us were saying, "Hey, it looks like it was confirmed." Looks like, then it wasn't, and it was just rumored. Going back and forth, it's interesting. And then Elon Musk was talking about, well, we don't really need the FBI. Let's abolish it in the same way we'll abolish the IRS and the SBA and a bunch of other. He had a whole list of things that he wants to abolish that serve no purpose. So maybe that's the game plan. Maybe there won't be an FBI to worry about. Maybe we'll just get rid of it, and then we won't have to worry about who the director is. That would be cool. And then we could use Kash somewhere else. Kash Patel, put him somewhere else. Kind of amazing to see what's going on. There's going to be a lot of changes. I don't think, if we look at this 12 months from now, I don't think we're going to recognize the government. I think it's going to be so different. It's going to be a very different game, and it's going to be, challenging, because all change comes with a little bit of chaos, right? Things are going to be a little confusing for a while until new systems get put in place. It's going to take a while to nail them down, fine tune them, and that kind of thing. But I think when we get there, you're going to be a lot happier. I'm happy now because I know we're moving in that direction. I am not even focused on the chaos, right? When Tony Robbins taught us to walk across the fire, the last thing you focus on is the fire. You focus on the other side, right? Getting on the other side of the fire, because that's what you want. Everything you want's on the other side of that fire. Everything that we want is on the other side of the chaos. So let's not focus so much on the chaos that's here and coming. Let's focus on the win on the other side, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very joyful time for all of us. Oh, by the way, having fun with people talking about the FDA and all the poisons in the food. Oh my God, people are sending me stuff like crazy. Did you know what's in ketchup? Do you know what's in the? It's like, yeah, a lot of this I've known because I've been following this, gosh, 1995. But it's really amazing to see how many people that we consider to be normies, right? Normies who are not informed in any of this stuff are now finding out about it because it's appearing in more mainstream media. Not full mainstream yet. I haven't seen a whole lot there, but it's appearing in more of the media that they're exposed to, and it doesn't seem to be being blocked anyway on the socials. So it's really interesting. It's more and more waking up to this and saying, hey, this is absolute garbage. We don't have to have this at all. So it's really great. Thank you guys for sending all this stuff for me, and keep doing it, because I never want to get to the point where I say I know it all. I don't know it all. I know what I know. I don't see everything, but certainly, we're going to have a better food supply. All the poisons are going to be out because we're waking up to it. And we're making different choices now. I see a lot more people reading labels in the grocery stores as well. All right, live from somewhere in California, here is Mr. Lewis. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Robert, sorry about the sun in the background. I don't know if I can turn the camera. That may help you a little. That may help you a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Perfect. It's great you're talking about food. I'm actually with my favorite driver, and him and his wife travel a lot. They tell us how wonderful the food is other places other than the United States.
Yes. Big difference when you go down south and you go into Europe, where all the GMOs are not legal, and the glyphosate and the Roundup Ready crops not legal. So yeah, you end up with real food. Oh my God, what a concept!
Yeah, yeah. My two oldest boys rave about food in Japan. They say they think they can get a better meal at a Japan 7-Eleven than they can here anywhere.
Yeah, wow. Real food, it's coming. The normies are waking up to it, and that's what we need. Is we need that groundswell of people kind of waking up to what's going on. And what'll happen really rapidly is the manufacturers are going to respond, because people are going to stop buying the garbage that they're putting on the shelves, and it's just going to sit there. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think what it's going to help is it's going to help the real organic be more competitively priced than that crap that they're putting out. So, and the market will dictate it. It always does.
yeah. Yeah. Well, organic,
But
the
I was
challenge with
just
organic is not enough people buy it to keep the pricing down. So when it becomes number one, subsidized by the government, which they were not doing, RFK is talking about subsidizing regenerative agriculture. That falls into the range of organics. So you start doing that, the price of organics is going to drop, and conventional will be more expensive, which is the way it should be. They're spending more for the chemicals to plant that crap anyway.
yeah, absolutely. I was just in a Sprouts before I left, and I noticed a head of lettuce that was organic was $1 more than a head of lettuce that was not.
Yeah.
So they have a competitive edge to put poison in your body. Go figure, right?
Yep.
So, and it's because they say it's easier. But I've talked to organic farmers, by the way. In fact, I talked to one in Ventura County, and she said it's not true. It's not more expensive to grow organic food. She thinks it's just a marketing issue where people don't understand it. Therefore, there's not the supply, or there's not the demand. Therefore, they don't create the supply.
Right.
Um, she believes if more people understood organic, that the price would automatically be competitive, and nobody would have use for the other ones.
And the farm
Um,
subsidies
but
are a big deal too, because the commercial farmers get
absolutely
tremendous subsidies to produce garbage.
right.
Yeah.
And so the key now is you don't subsidize the farmers that want to produce garbage.
Yep.
Well, you want to help. Do you want a healthy America? Okay, so your tax dollars should not be going to subsidizing bad food. If you're going to subsidize the good stuff.
Yep. And I think that's where we're headed. RFK's been talking about that, and it's real exciting to actually hear him use the words regenerative agriculture, because that's crop rotation, that's no-till, that's keeping the fungus and the bacteria in the soil the way it should be, and your vegetables are so much more nutritious for you. I bring friends that sometimes they come out, and I bring them to the farm-to-table type restaurants around here, and they're blown away. They're like, I can eat a salad, and it's like, this is amazing. It tastes like something. Like, yeah, you're eating garbage otherwise,
The grocery store, that's sure. But you know what my feeling is, the first worst thing is they don't rotate the crops, so
Right.
they've literally demineralized our food. So just the fact that they're promoting crop rotation alone, it gets me very excited for the future.
Yeah, it really does. We're certainly moving in that direction. What's your thought on the?
He knows
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah.
He knows what's up.
So,
So we don't. Do you know the region at least where they came from or no?
not offhand, no.
Okay, just trying to do an assessment because it may make a difference.
Yeah,
Interesting.
apparently there's hundreds of those missiles now that they're going to be firing into Russia. They're not going to stop, which is, there were a couple today, and apparently now it's like carte blanche. They're just going to fire them all in there. So they'll have to stop them at some point. There'll have to be
What
some
is
kind of
Zelensky?
response.
What is Zelensky saying about it, though?
Well, he's saying it's time for us to win. I'm like, how are
He's
you
just
going to
saying
win?
we're gonna go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to go now. We got to take this. We've got this tool that we've been wanting for a long time, and now we're going to use it. So,
All
but
right. So let's take my tinfoil hat off for a second. 4-3. I don't know how they wouldn't try when they do something so aggressive. But the one thing that we can think of is he knows, Zelensky knows that the war is going to end when Trump comes into office. So the best way to negotiate is from a position of strength. So this may be a last ditch effort so they don't have to give up as much, acting as if we were winning the war or we were doing great or we have enough to do damage. Why would we stop type of thing? You know what I mean? It could also be a negotiation play or both. I, I have a feeling Putin is going to stand down on this one for some reason. I think he knows.
yeah, it certainly seems that way because if the U.S. were hit by missiles like that, we'd have fighter jets in the air within minutes, wouldn't we?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
So, well,
So yeah.
but you can fly Chinese balloons over us, and we'll do nothing
Oh
about
yeah, you can. You can.
that. But
Crazy. But yeah, that's
yeah,
that's that's what we're looking at. This whole thing in play because I'd thought about it in terms of the election, but it really is true. They could say we're under
mhm,
duress at this point. We're being attacked
you
by
can.
Russia, and they could claim that, and then they wouldn't have to turn over power to Trump.
Yeah, I believe with the WPA they could suspend anything,
Yeah,
and so that would be an excuse to not turn it over to President Trump.
yeah. It's like being in a video game and you get the secret codes, you get all the weapons, right? And that's exactly what that would be for them.
Well, yeah, well, we've been saying that they've been a little bit too quiet, so they're going to cook something up for sure.
Yeah, they've been quiet. I've been looking into that because I was really concerned why they're so quiet. But apparently, what they're doing is they're building teams of lawyers to dig up dirt on every one of these appointments that Trump is making. They want to destroy every one of them. So they've got whole teams of lawyers now doing this in the back, which we know they often do it, but I don't think it was ever as organized as they're seeing now. People are like, "Wow, this is amazing! We never saw such a big organized effort to discredit every one of these Trump appointments."
So then the question, and this is where the people should be asking, is where do they get that money from?
Yeah, yeah, it's got to be deep state money.
Or if they're using tax dollars. If they're using tax dollars to do that, well, that there should be a law against that, I would think.
Yeah, but we're not following the law right now, and that's the hard thing to get people to understand. It's like, yeah, in Pennsylvania, they were told by the judge not to count ballots that came in after election. They said, yeah, we're counting them anyway. We don't care. And there was another ruling yesterday. Another court, a higher court, said you can't count them, and they're like, yeah, we're doing it anyway. We can't back them out now. We've already counted them. So
Well, Robert, they have nothing to lose,
at this point, right?
right?
Yeah.
So if they're already compromised, they say they might as well go for it. It's desperation time.
They double down. That's exactly what they do when they're caught. Is they'll double down, and we've seen this time and again, and now we're seeing it here. If you're looking at the elections in California, you're seeing
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
them flipping. Ah, you're back. Okay, good.
I'm back. I
Yeah,
froze, but I'm back.
you're froze, but you're between cell towers. That's the way this works. So. Yeah, interesting times that we're living in. Kamala is vacationing in Hawaii right now, just so you know. Crazy, crazy. So this is one you
As
brought
she
up.
should be.
Uh, uh,
That's
I
right.
think so.
Yeah, we talked about this, God, years ago,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's amazing. But so now another conspiracy is now mainstream media in Congress. Go figure. How's that work?
Yep. It's, you know, what's interesting,
I
Lewis, if you take a macro of this and you look at all of this that's coming up, it's almost like this, these are CYA moves. It's like, oh, I told you about this. I said it came from here,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I think you're right. I think I was saying it was Fort Hood originally. Um, but I think you nailed it. I think that's what they're doing. They're either going to attack or they're going to CYA as much as they can. It
Yeah.
seems very, very clear. There's a lot of people I've noticed kissing up to Trump right now that's way out of character. Way out of character.
Yeah. Morning
I mean,
Joe and
even
Mika
even
yesterday
I
kissing up
was
to
just
him.
gonna I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Morning Joe and Mika from CNN. That
Yeah.
was just odd.
MSNBC, actually. Yeah.
By MSNBC.
Yeah.
Well, they're all the same.
Well, MSNBC is interesting because apparently it's up for sale. And then there's talk that Elon was going to buy it. So they may be, looking to save their jobs and their careers too. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't even doubt if it did get bought
Yeah.
because the ratings are so horrible.
Yeah. And that's what Elon said. He can buy it at a fire sale because the ratings are so bad right now. Hey, you know
Yeah,
what the ratings are, Lewis?
but
At peak, 74,000 views. There are podcasts that
there you
get more
go.
than that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's beautiful. I love to hear that.
Yeah, it's really low. It's dropped 40% apparently since the election, and it's a dumpster fire. So I mean, when anyone who would buy it, they're not really going to buy a whole lot of name recognition, so they don't have to spend a lot of money for that. That's always the unknown factor. So they're just buying studio gear and maybe the talent contracts and things like that. But yeah, they're not buying the foot traffic, as we like to say.
Well, the only part though is you said talent contracts. Is that there's no talent over there whatsoever.
Oh, the actors, they're all actors. Yeah,
Right.
they have contracts.
So,
Yeah, there's no
exactly.
talent.
Um, I think the infrastructure would be a good purchase if they can get it for the right money. You already have they have a nice infrastructure. They have great boardrooms, great equipment, studios,
Yeah.
access to everything, good feed. You know what I mean? So the infrastructure. Other than that, I don't think there's any value to it.
I don't either, and I think that's one of the things we have to keep in mind. When we look at this kind of thing, it's like, yeah, they've got great studios, they've got great equipment, they've got that, but the name recognition. The first thing you would do in buying it, you have to change the name of it. You couldn't call it MSNBC. No one will come back to it. You know, we'll call it the Herms
So
Network. How's that?
that was scoop it up. SBG.
SBG.com. So this is good news for us. I love good news, like the Good News Show today. Juan Marchand adjourns New York City case against Trump without delivering a sentence in the hush money case. So this is a New York City case. He was supposed to be sentenced on the 26th. And after the Supreme Court ruling saying the president does have immunity, he didn't know what to do with it. So instead of ruling one way or another, he didn't rule. He just shelved it. Now, the challenge here is that did he shelve it until Trump is out of power and then he'll bring it back around again? Because then he'll just be a private citizen.
Time. I think these criminals will be in jail. So I don't think that'll be the thing. I think what I believe that their pivot is going to be, since Trump has built-in immunity, I believe they're going to start going after all of his picks, not to discredit him, but actually go after him, see if they can bring him up on lawsuits
Yeah, well,
with
it's
them
lawfare
diminishing
for
that.
sure. Yeah, no question. I 100% agree with that. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They have so many lawyers lined up. I mean, it's just one of these things. It's like, how could you possibly look at it any other way? You know?
I just don't understand where they get their financing
Yeah,
from.
I'm going to look into that. I'll see if I can find out any information on it because that's a good question because you'll know who is behind it. Hey guys, you should start your day off with a
Yeah,
good
we'll
cup of
do some
coffee.
digging because if it's
And screwbigov.com/health, you'll find Ascent Nutrition's coffee. It's something really, really great. Single origin from Guatemala. Has tasty notes of almond and caramel. It tastes so much different than regular coffee. Plus, it's mold and mycotoxin free. And Lance has done a lot of research into this to find the best supplier. He actually knows the family that grows the coffee. And he's got a fresh batch in, according to what he told me this week. So time to order. screwbigov.com/health. Get it in time for Christmas and Thanksgiving even, so you can serve it to your guests. They'll really appreciate you. All right. Next up, what do we have? Oh, do you know anything about Howard Lutnick?
Yeah, that's interesting. So let me ask you, as of my plane ride a couple hours ago, Trump did not officially nominate this guy or select this guy to the Treasury. Is it official from him, or are
No.
these just another CNN talking?
No, there it is. Statement from President
When,
Trump.
what time?
This was about 2 hours ago.
Makes sense because I was looking about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is weird because this is a guy is about as deep state as it gets, and his connection to child
Larry
trafficking.
Fink. Wasn't Larry Fink the worst one?
Larry Fink was worse, yeah,
Yeah.
but there should have been none of those choice. So I know people are screaming right now. He's just spreading the light on them. Well, we're going to see. This,
Yeah.
uh, this Fink is really weird. In fact, Denise from Deep Dives did an amazing dive and exposed this character. So for Trump to pick this guy makes no sense whatsoever to me. I can justify and figure out all the other ones. This one at the moment, I just can't. So I don't support it.
The only thing that makes sense in this that I can see is that he's anti-income tax and pro-tariffs. And that's what Trump wants to do. So maybe he's just going to use him for that piece.
Yeah, but if the guy was actually involved in something pretty nefarious, he should not be there. Now, again, I've said this, I know this to be true. There's these guys, many of them, they'll have compromise, they'll put them in position, and then they have to do their bidding. So I get it, but it's just, it doesn't, my palate doesn't take this one in very well at all. So that's got to be sketchy back. Or I guess his connections, people he hangs around with, that sketchy back.
Well, I still think we have to take the wait and see attitude here because there may be more to it than meets the eye. It may be setting him up. Maybe that's the game. He does play 5D chess with this kind of thing, or there's something he sees that we can't see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a wait and see thing. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to give all this place an opportunity at least 3 to 6 months. Let's see what happens from
So
this
what,
guy.
you would say February 15th, we would start making decisions on them? Give them a month in there?
Yeah, 3 to 6 months on my.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But that's a weird one for me for sure. So I'm going to have to do some more digging.
So before your birthday, we'll know. Okay, got it.
Let's see.
It's a big one too, isn't it? Coming up, yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud to turn 60. I know many people say, I'm just 40 for the 20th time.
It's okay. I'm actually having more fun now than I did last year. So, hey, it's all good.
It's awesome.
Okay. At the Justice Department this morning, something was spotted and probably shouldn't be there. The DOJ. This is what they saw this morning at the DOJ with the shredding company. And there was a request, a purchase order request last week that was put through for commercial industrial shredding. So they followed up with it now.
Interesting.
So the DOJ's got a shredder right there.
Yeah. I didn't know that. It totally makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's shred the evidence. Wow.
That is fascinating. I wish I had a comment. That's amazing.
So what do you make of it? Do you think they're burying evidence? Do you think that's what's going on? It kind of makes sense, right?
It looks like a manual bleach pit.
Yep.
But because okay, so these to have documents shredded from the DOJ is not new. It's not an anomaly just for paper, but they have all their in-house shredders. So they routinely shred certain documents, and then they send them out. If they're going to bring them, you,
It looks like we have Lewis frozen again.
before you,
Oh, he's back.
so this is interesting because what did you hear last, by the way?
You stopped when if they're going to bring in a.
Okay, because if they're going to bring in a big truck and they requisition it, this is going to be a mass shredding. The reason why we should pay attention to this is because the reason why I think they would do it so soon is, they have to share information with President Trump. I
Right.
think it's as soon as next week. And so if they're not shredding it before the inauguration, they're shredding it before his team has access to look at it. That's really sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. I think this really raised some red flags all over the place this morning. People were sharing this left, right, and center. And it's like, yeah, there's this group. Let's see here. I don't have the name of the group. Ugh. Anyway, there's a group that's been keeping an eye on the DOJ, and they were there with their cell phone this morning, and they caught this photo. Something fishy. It doesn't sound right. I'm wondering how many of these documents are electronic, though.
That's they can shred full computers.
Well, a shredding company normally
They can
can.
shred disks and chips. Yeah.
Yeah, they can. They can usually through one of the shredders. So it's not just paper. We think in terms of paper because that's what we're used to, but they can shred optical drives and hard drives and SSDs and that kind of thing as well. So.
Well, it may be a good thing. It's always bigger than the crime, right? So if they're trying to cover something up, I guarantee you there's a whistleblower at the DOJ. They haven't pinpointed yet. So we have this thing. To me, it's the highest level of disrespect.
Oh, Mike Johnson said today there's only two genders, a man and a woman. He took a lot of heat for that. So, this is a fight now. It's really interesting. It's like, what? This is crazy to be fighting over this, but that's where we are.
Oh, everybody go Google it. Google will tell you that there's 72 genders. Mike Johnson could not be. Google hasn't been right.
Yeah. Go Google it, right? You'll find out. You'll see what's going on. Oh, brother. Yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene is also, looking, I think, ahead at the exposure of Matt Gaetz and what they're going to do because they want to stop him at all costs from being the Attorney General. So she's doubling down. She's saying to my Republican colleagues in the House and Senate, if we're going to release ethics reports and rip apart our own that Trump has appointed, then put it all out there for American people to see. Yes, all the ethics reports and claims, including the one I filed, all these settled, paying off victims with taxpayer money, the entire Jeffrey Epstein files, tapes, recordings, witness interviews, but not just those. There's some more. Epstein isn't the only asset. If we're going to dance, let's all dance in the sunlight. I'll make sure we do.
Wow, she went there.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she went there.
Did you notice though? I love reading between lines. She threw in the word asset.
Yes.
That's a first for the political class to say that.
Yeah.
That is fascinating because that's what he is. He is an intelligence asset, intelligence gathering asset. So he is. He's a dirty pig, but he's still an intelligence gathering asset. So the fact that she said asset, that should give people pause for a second to know exactly which way they're going to go with this. But she's right. If we're going to have transparency on one person, bring it all out. Everybody's dirty laundry should be out there. But, the political class are a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah, and every one of them's got dirty laundry. I mean, they all bury it. They pay off.
Even she does.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see all this disclosure coming up, and it's like they're not protecting each other anymore. Remember, they used to circle the wagons and protect each other, and now it's like, screw you. It's every man for himself. Let's go.
Yeah, So let's backtrack real quick on the restroom deal. Was this divided down party lines? I haven't had a chance to look at the things.
They haven't voted on anything yet.
No, I meant
Yeah.
the conversation. So
Well, it always, yeah,
anybody coming up
this
from
one
the
probably was, yeah.
okay, so from the Democrat side, we'll keep it straight. I'm just clear. I'm curious what their justifications are. That's what's always important.
Well, the person will be taking
That's not
power
the
on the 20th.
justification. Yeah, that's not a justification. The reason why that's okay is the word justification. Because they seem not to ever to be able to explain themselves. They just implement rules and laws, but if somebody calls them on, they really don't know how to explain it. It's just because it's right. They go to the heartstrings because it would be wrong to exclude someone, right? Instead of using the common sense retort, which they probably don't have. But there's another agenda, right? It's not going to take care of it. So, never does.
Well, the game, and I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to decipher. You're really chopping up quite a bit. The game plan is that what they're doing is they're saying, oh, you have to be have to be kind to these people. You have to respect them, and they play that game, and you're don't agree with their beliefs and who they are, and that kind of thing. So they try to throw it back at you, but I mean, people aren't buying it anymore. It's like we're done. We've been there. We've played the game. We're done.
Yeah, so, what's fascinating, Robert, is how much action there is in Congress, and especially Senate right now. Generally, this is a kind of a lame duck period,
Yeah.
um, and they are trying to do as much as they can, including deep state dirty Republicans. Right? That's why they help leadership of legislation.
They're confirming judges, the Democrats, left, right, and center too. They're just pushing as many through as they possibly can, before the term ends here.
Well, they have to go through Senate approval. Oh, that's right, because they have VP Harris in there. So,
yeah, it's not a quiet time. We kind of think of it as a quiet time. It's not a quiet time. It's really a very busy time for them, which is kind of fascinating to see. So we teased a little bit about. Hopefully your connection's a little bit better. Your video's sharper, so maybe we can hear you better. We teased a little bit about what you're going to bring to us tomorrow. Do you mind to fill us in a little bit?
yeah. So for those that don't know, we took off kind of on an urgent request to go to Eastern Tennessee because there's a lot that has not been talked about, shown in Hurricane Helene after. So while we're there, we can tell you now officially, as of yesterday, total hours of dog work, one dog most of the time, total hours of dog work, I think about 8 to 9 hours. They got 14 cadaverines. But yet, the death toll still stands, and I believe they just upped it to 103 or something really ridiculously low. It's an absolute lie. Just disgusting. So we interviewed some and saw a lot of tragedy. We were called over to a very interesting situation. I can't go into it now, but I can allude to it. I believe there's a major corporate cover-up. We're going to find out who it is in regards to dangerous in the area. We are not investigated to the highest level of the possible.
Yeah, we're losing you, Lewis.
Level,
We can't really understand. It's like we're getting bits and pieces of the words. The connection's not very strong.
I don't know why. I'm on the phone all the time. Is it just
Now you're frozen.
how about now?
Talk a little bit. Let's see. Let's see what we can hear you.
I've been talking.
Okay.
Hear me?
No, still the same.
I don't get it. I only have this issue when I'm on with you. I've been doing calls all over the place on Zoom. I never have this challenge. It's got to be something different.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, no, we're just using the standard Zoom. I'm not doing anything special with it. Just pulling the feed off of there.
Only thing I think I don't know.
Hmm.
Cannot hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you. It just chops up a lot. It's hard to understand what you're saying. You're saying good things. It's just we want to hear it. You know.
So, anyways, so the desperation in eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina is epic. Needs down there are epic. And then we got a call on two other investigation situations out there. Um, One I can tell you about that we're checking out. It seems like there may be a community that's hidden, that's been buried underwater that we may have found. Investigate that further. That's a big deal. And the other one was like some corporate age or corporate cover up, and people are at severe, I think, severe risk. We think we're investigating further. We should have that information soon, but it may take as much as a week and a half, 2 weeks to have all the evidence.
We're getting some of that. We didn't understand all of it, but you said there's a big corporate cover-up that you're going to expose, and there's a community that you believe you found under the mud.
That's right.
Okay.
So we're investigating.
Try that again.
Is this better when I hold the mic right here by chance?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's try that. So both of the situations we're investigating further. One we'll know in a few days. The other may take as much as 2 weeks to get all evidence.
Okay.
But the bigger story here is that, there's people sleeping out in tents when it's freezing at night. And there's no help coming. There's just no government help whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely obsolete out there. There's no government help whatsoever. So,
I'll see if a connection restores here. There, he's back. Okay.
I'm going to be going on a lot of shows because there's no government help whatsoever.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's still we the people, and I hate to keep asking, but we need as many prayers as we can, donations as we can, because these people are just out of it. They cannot do anything. They're stuck, literally stuck in freezing. We're talking children. By the way, so catch-22, they only can live in a tent right now, but they're in a tent. Then the Child Protective Services, DCS out there, comes out and say, these are not livable conditions. We want to take your children.
Yeah, we've been hearing that story a lot. It's really, it's crazy, crazy sad.
Hey, Robert, since we're having problems, I'm going to cut off because I think this it's probably not a good look for either one of us.
Yeah. All right. No worries, Lewis. We'll catch up with you tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, and I will be in front of a computer, so we'll have a good feed.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks so much. All right. Yeah, it's always a challenge when you're on the road and you get an internet connection. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Noise canceling microphone. Maybe there's a lot of road noise. It's trying to cut that out. So there's a lot of issues when you're not in a stable, sitting location. So we apologize for the craziness, but yeah. All right. So what else do I have for you today? This is not Thumper, but it certainly looks like him. Doing that, he's just one of those cats that he's very personable. There he is. That is actually the real Thumper. We feed him the Pet Club 24/7 food, and he's doing really well, really healthy. Lots of nutrition in there. If you love your pet the way we love ours, certainly go check it out. ScrewBigGov.com/pets, ScrewBigGov.com/pets, and you'll find out everything that this company has to offer. Really, really above board. One thing you may want to try is go on the website website, and they have full webinars there if you want to watch that, learn more, but also look at the testimonials. It's really fascinating to see how many people are seeing the results in their pets, usually within about a week or so. It's noticeable when you start